On the news tonight, state government presents tax-up packs to beneficiaries of its Women Economic Skill Acquisition Program. Oil exploration companies and host communities to adopt dialogue in resolving disputes. President Bola Tinubu writes National Assembly for a fresh loan. Abroad, Ukraine fire U.S. supplied longer-range missiles into Russia for the first time. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Delta Television News. My name is Pauline Okolie. The state government has presented startup packs to 311 beneficiaries of its Women Economic Skill Acquisition Program, WESAP. The beneficiaries included 220 women trained in fashion and design, hairdressing, catering, decoration and events management, and makeup guillotine, as well as 91 persons with disabilities who were trained in ICT, confectionaries, fashion and design, leatherwork, and industrial production. Ejimu Dueme reports.
The beneficiaries included 220 women trained in fashion and design, hairdressing, catering, decoration and event management, and makeup guillotine, as well as 91 persons with disabilities who were trained in ICT, confectionaries, fashion and design, leatherwork, and industrial production. Speaking at the ceremony held in Asaba, Governor Borewori said his administration was fully committed to empowering veterans to overcome life's challenges and achieve their full potentials. According to him, the event marked another significant milestone in his administration's journey to providing opportunities for all, in line with his more agenda, adding that economic inclusion was key to social cohesion in any society. He disclosed that significant progress had been made in empowering veterans within the year, adding that over 203,204 persons had benefited from various empowerment platforms of his administration. The governor said 426 artisans, petty traders, and female entrepreneurs have been supported, pointing out that 6,000 farmers have received empowerment, with fertilizers distributed across the 25 local government areas of the state.
Commence your entrepreneurial journey. I urge you to make the best of this one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You must justify the trust and confidence the government has imposed in you by choosing to invest in your future. Government has spent a huge amount of money to purchase this item.
Commissioner for Women Affairs, Community and Social Development, Honorable Pat Ajudua, said the event was a milestone in the state government's commitment to empowerment and inclusivity in building a more prosperous Delta state. She disclosed that the ceremony was a significant step in fulfilling the ministry's mandate to mainstreaming gender and human rights perspectives across all levels, and to ensure that women and vulnerable groups were empowered to guarantee peace and sustainable development.
The empowerment of persons with disabilities is novel, as this is the first empowerment designed specifically for them.
In their goodwill messages, the Secretary to State Government, Dr. Kingsley Emo, and the Chief Job Creation Officer, Mr. Ifeanyi Eguyenga, said the empowerment programs of the present administration were aimed at wiping out poverty out of the state and advised beneficiaries not to sell the startup packs. They thanked the governor for approving resources for wealth creation and execution of socio-economic projects that had direct positive impacts on the lives of veterans and residents of the state.
You are doing over 30.5 kilometer length of roads, and we are going to see more. This has spread around the 3 senatorial districts.
Mindset is critical to the success of the business, that it is imperative on them to see what is given to them today as seed and not food.
Ejime Uduime reporting.
Oil exploration companies and host communities have been charged to adopt dialogue in resolving disputes. Governor Sheriff Oborewori gave the charge when a delegation from Chevron Nigeria Limited, led by Senior Corporate Affairs Advisor, Chevron International Exploration and Production for Africa region, Mr. Isimaje Brickins, visited him at the Government House, Asaba. Ejime Udweme reports.
Governor Oborewori congratulated Mr. Brickins on his new appointment and tasked his successor to understudy the company's operations and relationship with host communities and stakeholders. He warned that shutting down of oil facilities by host communities will not be tolerated, just as he would not tolerate oil companies not adhering strictly to memoranda of understanding they entered into with their host communities. Governor Oborewori advised Mr. Brickins' successor to engage with the people and create awareness to avoid friction. Earlier, Mr. Brickins thanked Governor Oborewori for his leadership, community engagement, and other efforts to stabilize the Niger Delta, which has benefited Chevron's operations, Delta State, and the country's economy. He said the state was home to Chevron for over 50 years and thanked the governor for his support for Chevron and other oil companies operating in the state. Mr. Brickins reiterated Chevron's long-term presence and commitment to Delta State, highlighting ongoing projects like the $1.4 billion drilling program funded by commercial banks. He emphasized Chevron's impact on local communities through job creation and contracting opportunities, as well as the company's efforts to deepen their relationships. Ejime Uduime reporting.
The state's 2025 appropriation bill has been read the second time by the State House of Assembly. The bill was extensively debated at today's plenary, where it enjoyed the lawmakers' unanimous support. Favor Okafor reports.
The lawmakers took turns to speak on the bill. All submitted that the appropriation bill tagged budget of fiscal consolidation was not only a development blueprint for 2025, but also a bold, courageous, and realistic roadmap for the actualization of government policies and programs. They commended the state government for what they described as an all-inclusive budget, adding that the bill would fast-track economic development in the state. They said the state had recorded success in human capital development, stressing that the 2025 capital expenditure would broaden the more agenda of the state government.
It is bold, it is courageous, and it is realistic. Growth comes from continuity. That His Excellency came here last year and promised us was going to continue with ongoing projects, and this year he has come back here to say the same thing. Means that says what it is and it means the things that it says.
It's more than just numbers and allocation. It is a blueprint for a brighter future anchored on transparency, sustainability, accountability, and growth.
This budget will be organically funded, meaning there is no plan or intention, Mr. Speaker, to borrow or increase the debt profile of our state.
The Speaker, the Right Honourable Emomotimi Moore, then referred the bill to the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation to report back on Tuesday.
For a law to authorize the issue out of the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Government of Delta State of the sum of 348 billion, 717 million, 758,635 naira as recurrent expenditure, and the sum of 587 billion, 361 billion, 60,084 naira as capital expenditure for the services of the year ending on the 31st day of December 2025 and to appropriate same for the purposes specified in the law.
Favor Okafor reporting.
Meanwhile, the State House of Assembly Committee on Special Duties has urged the Bureau for Special Duties to perform better in the coming year. The committee gave the advice when the Bureau appeared before it to defend its 2025 budget in the ongoing budget defense by ministries, departments, and agencies held at the Assembly Complex. Favor Okafor has details.
Reacting to a poor performance of 9.25% for 2024, the chairman of the committee and member representing Burutu 1 constituency, Honorable Anthony Alakwala, frowned at the Bureau's claim of not being able to access funds for its operations. Other members of the committee, including the majority leader, Honorable Emeka Nwobi, Honorables James Ogoye, Matthew Omonade, Bernard Odor, Charles Emetulu, and Blessing Achoja, sued for better performance as Deltons were looking up to better services by all government establishments. Commissioner Bureau for Special Duties, Mr. Ejiro Etajurure, in the defense solicited additional funds to enable the Bureau perform as expected. He said the initial 2.6 billion naira approved was grossly inadequate. In an interview on what to expect next year, Mr. Etajurure promised Deltons better services. Other affiliate agencies under the Bureau, including Project Monitoring, Sustainable Development Growth, SDG, and Job Creation, appeared before the committee. Also, the House Committee on Rules, Business, Legal and Judicial Matters met with the Ministry of Justice and its affiliate establishments. The Ministry of Urban Renewal also met with the relevant House Committee to defend its budget. Those who defended their budget also included the Ministry of Youth Development, the State Sports Commission, and the Ministry of Science and Technology. Favor Okafor, reporting.
President Bola Tinubu has written to the National Assembly to approve a fresh 1.767 trillion naira as a new external borrowing plan in the 2024 Appropriation Act. President Tinubu's request was read by the Speaker, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, during plenary today. He said if approved, the loan will be used to part finance the budget deficit of 9.7 trillion naira for the 2024 budget. The President has also forwarded the MTF/FSP 2025 to 2027 to Parliament and the National Social Investment Program Establishment Amendment Bill to make the Social Register the primary tool for the implementation of the federal government's social welfare programs. Last Thursday, the Federal Executive Council, FERC, approved a $2.2 billion external borrowing plan as part of the federal government's 2024 Appropriation Act financing program. With the latest move to get an additional $2.2 billion fresh borrowing plan, Nigeria's external debt may increase to $45.1 billion by the end of 2024. President Bola Tinubu has hailed the creation of the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty, championed by President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva of Brazil. President Tinubu's reaction was contained in a statement issued yesterday at the 19th G20 Leaders Summit opening session in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It described the alliance as pivotal in the global fight against hunger and poverty. President Tinubu said Nigeria's endorsement of the Declaration of Commitment to join the Global Alliance was a significant step in its efforts to address hunger and poverty by leveraging international cooperation and resources to bolster domestic strategies. Meanwhile, President Tinubu has emphasized the urgent need for the United Nations Security Council reform to ensure its continued relevance in global interventions. In the statement read on his behalf by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, President Tinubu noted that the G20 now wears a toga of a forward-looking international institution that upholds reform-minded multilateralism. The president expressed satisfaction with the G20 decision to grant permanent membership to the African Union and for its consistency in sustaining the tradition of inviting guest countries to join the group. The federal government has said it will work towards delivering 100 housing units to the poor in each of the nation's 774 local government areas through voluntary donations from no fewer than 10% of the population. The housing units are to be delivered under the proposed National Social Housing Fund currently being worked out by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. Briefing newsmen at the State House, Abuja, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Musa Dangiwa, said the ministry had written to all stakeholders in government on how they intended to raise funds for the project. President Bola Tinubu has submitted the names of 3 resident electoral commissioner-elect nominees to the State Senate for approval. The Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, read the correspondence during today's plenary. The request has been referred to the Committee on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, which is expected to review the nominations and report back promptly. The Vice President, Alhaji Kashim Shettima, has launched a Grand Challenges Nigeria's GCNG, a national innovation program aimed at revolutionizing Nigeria's healthcare program aimed through locally developed solutions. The initiative, which is part of the Global Grand Challenges Network, will focus on maternal and child health challenges in the first phase. At the launch, which took place at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, Alhaji Shettima disclosed that the initiative became necessary following an urgency occasioned by the rapid pace at which the world is evolving in the realms of science and technology. He stressed the importance of contextualizing solutions to national challenges, describing it as the cardinal messages of the President Bola Tinubu's administration. The Vice President explained that the program would integrate with existing government healthcare initiatives, including Nigerian Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative, NHSRII, and the Nutrition 774 program. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Wale Edun, has said private investors can now invest in the Nigerian economy. Speaking at the Open Cell Development NACUFED 2024 conference hosted in Bauchi yesterday, Dr. Edun stressed that the measures put in place by the government have set the country on a sustainable path towards industrialization and poverty reduction. He explained that the administration inherited significant economic challenges but wasted no time in addressing them. Dr. Edun added that critical reforms such as removal of fuel and foreign exchange subsidies were implemented to halt an annual economic drain of 5% of GDP. The savings from the reforms, the minister added, are now being channeled into infrastructure development and essential social services like education and healthcare. The minister said key policies of the President Bola Tinubu administration had helped to stabilize the economy and created opportunities for investment and development. Commissioners on the governing board of the Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, the SOPADEC, today paid a solidarity visit to the immediate past governor of the state, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa. The delegation included Chief Victor Ebo, Dr. Charles Olise, Chief Julius Egbedi, Mr. Sonny Ofe, Mr. Azuka Enebeli, Mr. Spencer Okboye, and Mr. Sylvester Oyeje and Honorable Goru Karo. In a statement, the Commission said the visit demonstrated its commitment to fostering strong relationships with key stakeholders in the state. The State Deputy Governor, Semonde Onyeme, has been presented with an award of excellence in public service and philanthropy by the Delta Printing and Publishing Company Limited, publishers of the Pointer newspapers. The award was presented to Sir Monday Onyeme by the chairman of the company, Ologun Ebenezer Okorodudu, in his office at Government House, Asaba, as part of activities marking the 30th anniversary of the newspaper. Receiving the award in Asaba, Sir Onyeme commended the newspaper for its resilience in the prompt and effective information dissemination in the state. He thanked the newspaper for the recognition, saying it was worthy of note that the newspaper had survived the test of time, having spent more than 25 years in the business of information dissemination. Sir Onyeme noted that not all business organizations could survive such a number of years, particularly in the media, and commended the board, management, and staff for their contributions that made the media outfit to survive. The Deputy Governor commended Ologun Okorodudu, stressing that since his appointment, a great improvement had taken place in the organization. Sir Onyeme prayed that the Pointer newspaper would become the best and highest-selling newspaper in the country. Earlier, the chairman of the board, Ologun Okorodudu, said the award was for the Deputy Governor's excellent performance in politics and in business. He described Sir Onyeme as a philanthropist, a gift to Deltans and humanity, adding that his scholarship scheme was extraordinary. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Betokun, has urged Nigerians to refrain from using social media to report the conduct of police officers and instead direct such complaints to the Police Complaints Response Unit. Speaking at the PPRO's Police Communication Experts Conference in Asaba, Delta State, the IG emphasized that the use of social media to address grievances often leads to misinformation and undermines integrity of the police force. They acknowledged the role social media plays in shaping public opinion, but warned that unverified information could create false perceptions. The Edo State Governor, Senator Monday Okpewolo, has charged security agencies to smoke out criminal elements in the state. Governor Okpewolo read the Riot Act to criminals while briefing these men at the end of an inaugural security meeting held at Government House, Benin City. The governor, who lamented the spate of ongoing court-related killings in the state, noted that his administration placed priority on the security of lives and property, and joined heads of various security agencies to make the state unsafe for criminal elements. The state head of service, Mr. Reginald Bayoko, has directed all public and civil servants who have traveled abroad without requisite permission or whose authorization has expired to report back to their duty posts within 2 weeks. The initiative is aimed at enforcing discipline and accountability in the state's public service. Mr. Bayoko had also mandated all ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, to compile a list of officers who have traveled abroad since 2018, indicating whether they obtained proper authorization or have overstayed their approved period, and a comprehensive report submitted by December 2. The head of service warned that accounting officers, directors, and immediate supervisors would bear direct accountability for any regulatory breaches, including the recovery of salaries disbursed to absent officers from the responsible officials. According to government circular number TM3/57/T1/406, dated November 11, 2024, failure to comply with the directive would lead to immediate and decisive disciplinary measures, including summary dismissal. Reaffirming the administration's commitment to high standards, Mr. Bayoko called on all MDAs to ensure prompt and complete compliance, stressing that the integrity of the service hinged on collective adherence to rules and regulations. The head of service also implored public servants to respect established protocols for overseas travel, while also reiterating the importance of cultivating a culture of responsibility and compliance. He maintained that officers' dedication was paramount to maintaining the excellence and dependability of the Delta State Public Service. Governor Sheriff Obarewori recently voiced strong dissatisfaction over officers who leave their duty pays for overseas trips without permission, yet continue to draw salaries, undermining the integrity of the service. The Chadian government has repatriated no fewer than 600 irregular migrants from Nigeria who were found engaging in begging activities in various parts of the country. Reports say that thousands of Nigerian refugees have fled Nigeria's restive Borno state since 2019 at the peak of the Boko Haram insurgency to take refuge in neighboring countries of Chad and Cameroon. The Director General of the State Emergency Management Agency, Mahmoud Bakino, disclosed this to newsmen while profiling the refugees in Maiduguri yesterday. Mr. Bakindo said that the migrants were primarily from Borno, Kano, Sokoto, and Kaduna states and had entered Chad without proper documentation. According to him, SEMA had provided them with logistics support and basic necessities, including food and 10,000 naira as transport before their departure to their respective states. He noted that many of the migrants expressed the desire to return home due to the hardships they faced. Residents have appealed to the state government to create community engagement programs to mentor the youths in order to reduce the high crime rate in the society. They made the appeal while speaking on the high crime rate, especially among the youths. Henry Unogwa reports.
Some of the respondents expressed worry that youth now preferred loitering to engaging in meaningful activities. They said laziness among the youths was on the increase, noting that peer pressure and gang influence, family dynamics, social exclusion, marginalization, and cultural norms had led to the get-rich-quick syndrome, popularly known as Yahoo Yahoo, in the country.
Have what I call a personal evaluation about yourself. Ask yourself, what kind of business can I do? You understand, that is legitimate for me. What kind of business would I embark on that will help me out? There are a lot of good businesses and there are bad businesses.
They do not have long life to live, doing all those things, commit all those crimes. So my own advice to them, for them to become somebody in future time for me, they have to go and learn work. Today, I'm a organizer. I train many boys. So instead of in the issue of state government, if they have any help, they can give to the ones who are ready to learn or to forward, get something doing. State government should assist them.
It's very wrong. They tell your pikin, you are grown. Go to a street, follow your mate and do what they are doing. Your mates are driving car, your mates are feeding their parents. When you know that you will not train him or her in any work, they expect him or her to be bringing money to you. Most of all this our youth roaming in the streets. The fault comes from parents.
Other respondents blame the high crime rate on some parents who failed to bring their children in godly ways, adding that some of the youths behaved irrationally due to poor family upbringing. They enjoined parents whose children are on the street to engage such children in skills training, before blaming government for their challenges.
I still blame parents, because even if, as you have a child now, let me just come, as you have a child, you must train your children. Even if you don't have money to train your children in higher institutions, you can train them in a so they can learn work. They can learn work. At the end of the year, they learn something at the end of the time that they want to do something. They can be doing something on their own.
I advise the state government to create a job for the youth, so that this kind of thing will not happen like this again.
Others, however, listed causes of youth involvement in crime to include poverty and economic inequality, lack of education and job opportunities, family dysfunction and poor parenting, peer influence and social pressure, social media influence and exposure to violence, inadequate community resources and support. They said in order to address youth involvement in crime, it was essential to implement comprehensive strategies on education and vocational trainings, job creation and economic empowerment, family support and counseling, mental health services, and the substance abuse treatment, among others. Henry Onogwa reporting.
A new technology company with interest in transportation, logistics, e-commerce and wealth creation, Lisbon, has been launched in Asaba with an assurance that it has the safest, most secured, comfortable, and most available ride in the mobility and delivery technology sector. Pere Botu has details of the report.
The launch of the Lisbon Transport app saw members of the company on a roadshow with Gorilla Clown and bikers in a long convoy of cars and tricycles, particularly referred to as keke, with branded t-shirts and face caps from the Okpanam axis through the Okpanam Road to the Intawa roundabout and thereafter to Summit Junction and back. The roadshow continued from the Intawa roundabout through Nebisi Road to the Bogonogo market end and terminated at the Ezene roundabout, distributing flyers, handbills and other materials to inform the public on the new transport app, which can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store to book a ride. Lisbon is a visionary technology startup which is set up to revolutionize the informal transport, logistics and trade sectors with the launch of its public testing phase. It is a ride-sharing company rather than just an online transport company, as it connects passengers with drivers. The Chief Executive Officer and founder of Lisbon, Mr. Alpha Lucky Ikechukwu, said the company entered the market first with the launch of its transport sharing app services for everyday users. He said with Lisbon, a passenger could book a car, keke or share a ride, noting that it introduced a new feature which was fixed route where users pay less and make more money.
Now, Lisbon actually is a technology company that specializes in transportation, logistics, e-commerce and wealth creation. But going to market, we are launching first our transport sharing app, which actually focuses on providing transport services for everyday users. Now with Lisbon, you can book your keke, you can also book shared ride. We have a new feature called fixed route. We get to reduce the cost of transportation while providing safe, affordable options that rewards the drivers as well as rewards the users.
Mr. Ikechukwu said Lisbon was providing safe, affordable options and reward for drivers and users, noting that it was test running the app in Nigeria with Asaba as a pilot location, while it will also be launched in different parts of the state and country so that people could make their assessments.
Lisbon right now has been built for a while, and we have a plan to first of all launch in Nigeria to do a test launch. So right now here in Asaba, what we are trying to do is something which they call a test launch. We have built the product and we want to release it to the market so that people can test it with us, find faults, critique the product, and we can improve in the market. And between now to the end of December, we expect to have lots of issues. So we say this to the public. Come on the app, find an issue, take a screenshot and send back to us. For every issue you find, we reward you with a 1,000 naira bonus.
The Lisbon chief executive officer affirmed that the company was for everybody in the society, irrespective of one's status, as a user could book keke, cars, shuttle buses and danfo with benefits to the drivers and users. He said some analysts had described Lisbon Transportation app as the most secure and rewarding app because it has verified drivers and users who could be monitored, stressing that it has several security features that guaranteed the safety of users.
So the users of Lisbon are completely safe from verification. So now every single person or driver who drives on Lisbon knows who they are driving. They are verified. Everybody who shares a ride on Lisbon knows who they are sharing the ride with. They are verified. Now every single person knows who is driving them. The drivers are also totally vetted as well on Lisbon. So when it comes to safety, I can actually say I do agree with the three analysts who says Lisbon is going to be the most secure platform in the world.
Mr. Ikechukwu disclosed that Lisbon was built for the people as the most reliable, safe, secure and rewarding transport app, as it has a unique feature where drivers who drove for up to 8 years are entitled to retirement pension scheme. According to him, Lisbon connects users to a variety of vehicles options such as cars, mini buses, danfo, keke, motorbikes for areas where vehicles cannot reach, stressing that it has fixed routes.
And quite simply is the fact that Lisbon goes down to the common man and even up to the highest of levels. Now with Lisbon you can book a keke, and in new time we're going to add shuttle buses, even the danfos can actually book through Lisbon. But Lisbon's benefit is for users different and for drivers different. Now, Lisbon is owned by the people. The people own Lisbon. And when I say this is, every time a person books a ride, a certain amount is being paid to the company. But now, that amount is being given to the person who actually invited that user. So now they own Lisbon with us. So as Lisbon grows, they grow with us.
He said Lisbon has come to revolutionize the way people move around cities with cars, keke, danfo, among others. I am Pere Botu reporting.
You're watching Delta Television main news. Still to come, Ukraine fire US supplied longer range missiles into Russia for the first time. Please stay with us. We'll be back.
Sis, baby, why should they do younger like this? As you see me so, I don't become 10x of the woman when I did before. Berekete 10x.
Make you enjoy 10 times your recharge, double data, and other betterment on top, voice calls, IG, TikTok, audio and video streaming, Zoom calls, and other better things them. Dial *301#.
I never finish up. 1,000 naira welcome bonus for voice and data.
You mean all this thing for Berekete 10x?
Full for the enjoyment.
Is your line blocked? You can get your line unblocked free, fast and easy. Quickly go to any Glow World shop or SIM registration center near you and link your NIN to your Glow line right now. Got no NIN? Visit the nearest NIMC office, get an NIN, and then link it to your Glow line. NIN registration is free, so reconnect with Glow today.
Some say learning is fun, but as a mom, I see how demanding it can be for my child. That's why I ensure he starts every day with a cup of Bonvita. Give your child Bonvita. It contains essential vitamins and minerals that support mental and physical vitality. Bonvita. Prepare them to win every day.
Coming back to Delta Television main news. And from the foreign scene, Ukraine has fired US-supplied longer-range missiles at a target inside Russian territory for the fourth time, a day after Washington gave its permission for such attacks. Russia's defense ministry earlier said the strike targeted at Bainsang region bordering Ukraine to the north this morning. The ministry said 5 missiles were shot down and 1 damaged with fragments, causing a fire at a military facility in the region. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov accused Washington of trying to escalate the conflict. Earlier on today, the Kremlin approved changes to Russia's nuclear policy, lowering conditions under which the country would consider using its arsenal. It now says an attack from a non-nuclear state, if backed by a nuclear power, will be treated as a joint assault on Russia. And back home, let's join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
Customer deposits in 8 deposits money banks, 85.58 trillion naira in the third quarter of 2024, a 12.2% increase from the 76.26 trillion naira recorded in the same period in 2023. This was disclosed in an unaudited interim financial statement for the period ended September 30th of the banks filed with the Nigerian Exchange Limited recently. A customer deposit in banking is the money that a customer pays to a bank to secure goods, services, or to make an advance payment on an order or project. Zenith Bank recorded the highest customer deposits at 21.57 trillion naira in quarter 3 of the review year, up from 13.38 trillion naira in quarter 3 last year, making a 61% increase. The growth was driven by demand deposits, which increased from 7 trillion naira to 8.04 trillion naira. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) has vowed to take tough measures against airlines that delay passengers' luggage. The regulatory agency said it will impose fines of $170 and 10,000 naira on foreign and local airlines, respectively, for delayed passengers' luggage as a first measure to guide against such an act. In October, the NCAA stated that passengers could claim up to $1,000 for missing luggage on domestic flights, as well as $1,288 special drawing rights for international flights. Speaking on Monday during a roadshow organized by NCAA at the Lagos airport to sensitize passengers who will be traveling during the Yuletide, the Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Maike Ashimogu, assured that the regulatory agency would implement the sanctions against any erring airline to the letter.
The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has warned electricity distribution companies not to forcefully migrate customers with faulty meters into the estimated billing regime. It also ordered the DISCOs to replace obsolete prepaid meters for their customers free of charge. This mandate was outlined in a statement released by the regulatory body's management and posted on its official X handle. It highlighted that, according to the Nigerian Electricity Supply Industry Act, it is the responsibility of DISCOs to replace faulty and outdated prepaid meters for their customers. The directive follows recent reports of some electricity companies requiring customers to replace Unistar prepaid meters. And now sports news. At least 21 countries have confirmed their spots at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations after yesterday's fixtures. They are Morocco, Burkina Faso, Algeria, Democratic Republic of Congo, Senegal, Egypt, Angola, Gabon, Uganda, and South Africa. Others include Nigeria, Benin Republic, Comoros, Sudan, Equatorial Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, Zimbabwe, Mali, Zambia, and Tunisia. This means there are only 3 slots left to be filled. Morocco will host the 2025 AFCON from December 21, 2025 to January 18, 2026. The defending champions are Cote d'Ivoire, who defeated Nigeria 2-1 in the final played earlier this year. Still on sports, 3 weeks after releasing the initial long list, CAF has officially unveiled the top 5 nominees in each of the men's categories of the upcoming CAF Awards 2024, set to take place in Marrakech, in Morocco, by December 16. Atlanta Europa League hero Ademola Lookman leads the final shortlist for the Men's Player of the Year award, along with Ivory Coast Simon Adingra, Guinea striker Sekou Guirassy, Morocco defender Achraf Hakimi, and South Africa goalkeeper Rowan Williams. AFCON 2025 MVP Most Valuable Player Truce Ekong is a surprise omission from the final shortlist. Chippa United goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali, who starred for Nigeria, joined the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast earlier this year, will go head-to-head with Williams again for the goalkeepers gone, along with Manchester United and Cameroon goalkeeper Andre Onana, Ivory Coast Yahya Fofana, and Egypt goalkeeper Mustapha Shobia. Former Super Eagles coach Josie Pereso was also excluded from the final shortlist for Coach's Award, which has Ivory Coast AFCON winning coach Emasi Fowl, Pedro Goncalves Angola, Sebastien Desabre of Democratic Republic of Congo, Marcel Kola, Al Hali, and Hugo Broos, South Africa. Nigeria is, however, still in the running for the National Team of the Year, alongside reigning Africa champions Ivory Coast, Democratic Republic of Congo, South Africa, and Sudan. Other categories announced by CAF include Inter-Club Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, and Club of the Year, making a total of 7 categories confirmed by CAF in the men's category of the awards. The 2024 CAF Awards cover the period between January 2024 and October 2024. Lookman is the favorite to win the Men's Player of the Year award following his superb performance for club and country the period under review. The 26-year-old scored 3 goals at the 2023 AFCON tournament earlier this year and ended the season with an eye-catching performance against Bayer Leverkusen in the UEFA Europa League final, where he netted a hat-trick to take his 2023-2024 tally to 17 goals and 10 assists in all competitions for Atlanta. This season, he has continued similarly with 8 goals and 5 assists in 14 games so far this season. Our thoughts for the day. People are like books. Some deceive you with their cover, and others surprise you with their contents. We'll take a look at our highlights before we go. The state government has presented startup packs to 311 beneficiaries of its Women Economic Skill Acquisition Program, WESAP. The beneficiaries included 220 women trained in fashion and design, hairdressing, catering, decoration and event management, and makeup and gele tying, as well as 91 persons with disabilities who were trained in ICT, confectionaries, fashion and design, leatherwork, and industrial production. Oil exploration companies and host communities have been charged to adopt dialogue in resolving disputes. Governor Sheriff Oborowori gave the charge when a delegation from Chevron Nigeria International Exploration and Production for Africa region, Mr. Esimaje Brickens, visited him at Government House, Asaba. President Bola Tinubu has written to the National Assembly to approve a fresh 1.767 trillion naira as a new external borrowing plan in 2024 Appropriation Act. And from the foreign scene, we reported that Ukraine has fired U.S.-supplied longer-range missiles at target inside Russian territory for the first time, a day after Washington gave his permission for such attacks. And that's our news tonight on Delta Television. My name is Pauline Okoli. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.